All right, quick. This is a video on a MGB, a 1977 MGB 18V type engine. This is the oil pump. This little spline gear here goes and interacts with the camshaft. So when you're inspecting this, first you need to look and see, is there any bearing problems? This is going to set into a little bearing inside in the crank when you put it in place. It keeps it from chattering. When you inspect this gear, you have to realize, is that the pressure is based on which direction it's turning. So when you look at this side of the gear faces, you won't see a lot of problems. But if you look at the other side of the gear face, that's where you're going to see the wear. And you can see that right in here on this side. This is where the pressure against the gear is created. So when you're inspecting these gears, probably the best thing to look at is how true this line is as it moves across. And you'll see cupping, and as it thins across here on the inside, this gear is kind of marginal. It's shiny, it has some wear, you can see there's some cupping in here. But on first look, I would think, maybe. Here's some additional wear on this bottom edge here. It looks like it's been through a couple of different cams, the original cam and then the other cam that was in it. So the interface is got some wear. There's obviously some dirt in there, which is kind of scary to see dirt on the oil pump. So anyway, but what I'm really concerned about on this is this. The interface between this and the actual pump inside is, and you can just slide this out. You can see there's another kind of a bearing surface right here. You shouldn't check. But the interface is with this little tab. That tab connects to another tab on the inside. And my goodness, look at the wear on that. That is significant. It's on both sides. And right off, I'm saying this is going to be replaced. That is just not good. So we'll continue here. We'll take apart the body of this oil pump, and when I get to the inside, I'll show you how the paddles work. All right, so from this view, when you take the cap off, which is actually the bottom cap, you can see the way the mechanism works is very much like a Wankel engine. When this, let's see if I can turn this. When this turns, it creates low pressure as the spline moves out of a section, and then that moves across over to the outlet, and then the spline creates high pressure as it closes on it. And so that's kind of how that works, very much like a Wankel engine. It sucks up as it creates a vacuum, and then the second hand, as it comes across, pushes down, and that creates pressure. And so the things that you need to look at on this particular portion of the oil pump is you want to check, everything's got a suction to it because it's got oil in it. You want to check this for any kind of wear on the outside edges. Obviously this one looks like it's new. It's very good shape. You want to look for any kind of wear on these bearing surfaces. This bearing surface here rides inside the cap right in here. So you want to look for any kind of wear. Look for spalling or any kind of lines. This doesn't look too bad. I think that this is going to be a good shape. This is where that gear connects to on the inside. And so the same way that I check that gear for wear, you want to check the inside of this for any kind of wear. And you can see this looks really good. So I think we're keeping this inside. There's a little bit of a a wear point right there, but I think this may have been replaced, but the gear wasn't. Good reason. This rebuild kit that you can buy that has this outer sleeve and this inner paddle sleeve, that these together are only $20. So I can see how that could very easily not be replaced. Whereas this, it's like $104. It's a hardened steel. It has a gear on it, so obviously that's a lot more expensive. This is going to be replaced. I'm gonna replace this gear. Let's see if we can get this outer sleeve to come down. There we go. So this is the other inspection that you need to do. This outside of this, because it rides inside the sleeve here, inside of here. You want to look for any kind of spalling or wear on the outside. This very minimal. This is really in good shape, so I think we're going to keep this as well. These two components are in good shape. We're going to keep those. This needs to be replaced. All the rest of this is just aluminum casting. If you were to buy a new oil pump, the new oil pump would not include this piece. It would include all this aluminum casting and these two pieces right here. I think if you bought the new pump, it would be like $85. But it does not include this spindle. This spindle is sold separately, and like I said, it's about $100 on Moss. So we're going to replace that spindle, and we're going to put everything back together again, and that will give us some good oil pressure. Oil pressure is one of the more critical things in your engine. You should certainly take the time to inspect these components to make sure that when you put it all back together, especially if you have the engine apart, when you put it back together, you don't want to have another problem, have to take it back apart again. So don't miss this inspection.